What is going on, everybody? We got a new article for Heroes and Monsters in the new Age of Sigmar 3.0. I haven't read this yet, so we're going to follow along and react together if you haven't checked it out yet. How Warhammer Age of Sigmar New Edition turns monsters and heroes up to 11. Sweet. So they have mentioned that heroes are more heroic, monsters are more monster-y. So let's find out what kind of reveals we got. Sure, there are plenty of troops to do most of the real work, but the big duels and epic throwdowns make for nail-biting games. Deal some monstrous damage. Alright, so looks like we will have something called heroic actions. These are a totally new ability type. Real quick, I do believe that AOS 3 is going to introduce stratagems into Age of Sigmar. If you're familiar with 40k, 8th edition stratagems were a big hit. They have them still in 9th edition. It gives you all kinds of little special abilities you can spend points on. They're not going to call them stratagems here. You're going to use command points on them. But basically, they're going to give you a whole bunch of generic ones in the book, it sounds like. And then I bet the new battle tomes will have a few unique ones, and it'll basically just be stratagems. So, as Grimdark Live would say, you heard it here first. Oh boy. Okay, let's check out the new thing. That's a cool cinematic shot, but we all know this guy's not killing all of that. Those things would wreck one little Stormcast hero, but cool little diorama. All right, heroic actions. A unit with the hero keyword on its war scroll is a hero. At the start of the hero phase, you can carry out one heroic action from the table below with one friendly hero. The effect of the heroic action is treated in the same way as the effect of an ability for rules purposes. Okay, you can carry out one heroic action from the table below with one friendly hero. So you can do one of these a turn, no matter how many heroes you got, sounds like. Heroic leadership. Pick one friendly hero. Roll a dice on add 2 to the roll if your general has been slain. On a 4+, you receive one command point that can only be spent during that turn to allow that hero to issue a command. So you can try to get an extra command point for a hero, and if your general's dead, you can do it a little better because somebody's taking over for the general. Heroic willpower. Pick one friendly hero that is not a wizard. If it is the enemy hero phase, that hero can attempt to unbind one spell in the hero phase as if they were a wizard. If it is your hero phase, that hero can attempt to dispel one endless spell as if it were a wizard. You can only attempt to unbind or dispel the same spell once. Okay, so let's get into this a little bit. The army I'm currently playing is the Sons of Behemat, so let's just look at this through the lens of the Sons of Behemat. This one, pretty cool. Command point. You can do some re-rolling. I'm sure there's stuff to do. All the Mega Gargants are heroes. Heroic willpower. You actually have a chance to dispel a spell or an endless spell if you want to try that with a Mega Gargant, which is nice. Especially if somebody casts something really important against you and say they only roll like a 5. And you're like, okay, I only need a 6 on 2 dice. Maybe you go for it. If it's going to be something that's going to, really buff the enemy. Their finest hour. Pick one friendly hero. Add 1 to the wound rolls for attacks made by that hero until the end of the turn. Add 1 to the save rolls for attacks that target that hero until the end of the turn. You cannot carry out this heroic action with the same hero more than once in the same battle. Okay, this one's awesome for the Mega Gargants. +1 wound. You'll be wounding with basically a 2-up on all your attacks. And +1 save, bringing the Megas to a 3-up. Yeah, this is good. I think this one's going to be very popular. +1 wound, all heroes, especially heroes that ride monsters, assuming this applies to their mount. Very nice. I mean, even like an Archaon or somebody having +1 save and +1 wound, or a big dragon or an undead guy on a dragon, vampire on a Terrorgeist or something. Heroic recovery. Pick one friendly hero and make a heroic recovery roll by rolling 2d6. If the roll is less than the hero's bravery characteristic, you can heal up to D3 wounds allocated to that hero. If the roll is equal to the bravery characteristic, you can heal 1 wound. Okay, so potential D3 heal. The more brave you are, I guess. So like a goblin hero's not healing, but an undead hero is, I guess. Or a lizard man, whoever's got leadership 10. More command points, okay. I'll read through this on my own, but let's see here. More command points. Starting command points. After determining who will take which turn, the player who takes the first turn will receive 1 command point, and the player who takes the second turn will receive 2. Okay, so I assume there's going to be all kinds of things you can do with these points. They're trying to use this as a way to make going second a little less punishing in a double turn situation. So you get 1 extra command point. I'd be curious if that's enough. Like, should it be 1, 3 or 2, 4? I don't know. We'll see. And there's probably heroes and other things to earn more command points. But this seems like a new addition that's going to require all new books. So if you're sitting on a stack of AOS 2 battle tomes, I would start putting them up on eBay right away and getting about, $20 a book back for your battle tomes, and then just pick like 1 army or 2 to play during the new AOS 3 until you have your new battle tomes. That's what I did with 40k. It worked out beautifully. Using command abilities. To use a command ability, you must spend 1 command point. Pick 1 friendly model and issue a command, and pick 1 friendly unit to receive the command. Unless noted otherwise, the model that can issue commands and units they can issue them are follows. Unit champions can issue commands to their own unit. Okay, so if you can target out unit champions, there's more reason to do so now. Like a giant can pick them up and eat them, or stuff them in the pants. Heroes can issue commands to units that are wholly within 12. I hate wholly within, honestly. It's just not a great mechanic. I mean, I guess it's to prevent, stringing out, but I wish there was another way we could do that. Like the unit should be maybe wholly within 12 of itself, but I don't like having to be wholly within 12 of heroes. But, whatever. It kind of brings you back to tighter clouds, more rank and file kind of feel instead of long strings of troops. Generals can issue commands to units that are wholly within 18. Okay, so that's a huge bubble at least. And totems. Okay, so we're getting some love for the totems. And they can issue commands to 18 as well. So, at least the wholly within 18, I mean, that's reasonable. 12, pretty reasonable, but some abilities in the game are like 9, 6, I think even. It's just crazy small. Alright, so there you go. That's how commands are issued. Monstrous Rampage. Some armies are less about noble warriors and more about unleashing beasts or demonic entities upon their foes. Demonic Rampage. At the start of the charge phase, each player can carry out 1 monstrous rampage from the table below with each friendly monster. Wow, okay. At the end of the charge phase, each player can carry out 1 monstrous rampage from the table below with each friendly monster. So every monster at the end of the charge phase can do this on both sides. Interesting. So your opponent's doing this as well on your turn. The player whose turn is taking place carries out all of their monstrous rampages first. The same player cannot carry out the same monstrous rampage more than once per phase. The effect of the monstrous rampage is treated in the same way as abilities. So if you have an army of monsters like the Mega Gargants, say you have 4 units, all of them, you're going to have to pick 1 for each unit because you can't duplicate. And, a 4-unit monster army with the Sons of Behemat is pretty common. Pick 1 enemy unit within 3 of this model. Roll a dice. On a 3+, that unit cannot issue or receive commands in the following combat phase. Pretty nice. Some units can, issue a command to reroll saves, reroll hits, reroll wounds, things like that against you. So if you're coming up against a unit that's going to do something like that, you're going to want to go with this one. It's going to make you way more survivable for a Mega Gargant especially. Stomp. Pick 1 enemy unit within 3 of this model that is not a monster. Roll a dice. On a 2+, the unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. Okay. Still got to spend the point. 2+ roll. It can potentially just do 1 mortal wound. So not exactly monstrous damage. Yeah, that's lackluster. Should be like D3 plus 2 or something maybe, or D6 with a minimum of 3. I don't know. Whatever. Pick one enemy unit, or pick one enemy monster within 3 of this model. Add 1 to hit rolls for attacks made by this model that target the enemy monster until the end of the combat phase. So there you go. If your monster charges another monster and you're going to strike first, you're probably going to go with this and get +1 to hit. And they're going to, I don't know, I guess they're going to try to not let you do commands when they roar back at you. Pick one faction terrain feature or defensible terrain feature within 3 of this model and roll a dice. On a 3+, the terrain is demolished. Okay, so all the monsters can destroy terrain now. That was kind of a gatebreaker special thing, and then they added it to the Fox and Lumineth. I don't know if anybody else can currently do it, but that'll be interesting if they change how the gatebreaker special rule works, or give him a new rule, or maybe he just has the, you could potentially use this. If you fail, maybe use his other ability to try. And there you go. Okay, so monster fighting monster, +1 to hit, taking away the commands of your enemy, great. D3 mortal wounds, I mean, sure, for free. A Mega Gargant charging a unit does on a 2+ D6 mortal wounds. Then you could spend this to, on a 2+, do another D3, so you could be doing potentially up to 9 mortal wounds on the charge. It's alright, but D3 is not monstrous damage like they were trying to claim. It's not a monstrous rampage of any kind. It's actually pretty sad. And we've seen some of the new monsters are really high point value. But some of these other ones are nice. This one, the Roar, valuable. Monster fighting monster. Titanic Duel, super valuable. And smashing faction terrain. I mean, good. Get rid of it. Nobody wants to bring their faction terrain with them anyway. Alright, so if you have more than 4 monsters, you'll have to be strategic about which of your vast horde you send on a monstrous rampage, so you can only carry out each ability once per phase. These rampages make monster-heavy armies a lot of fun to play, and they're potentially pretty catastrophic for your opponent. If you know Warhammer Age of Sigmar, D3 mortal wounds is catastrophic. Okay, sure. Yeah, so there you go. Pick one enemy monster. Add 1 to the hit rolls made by this model. Okay, so Titanic Duel, if you had a unit of Mega Gargants, only one model gets +1 to hit, not the whole unit, it looks like. But the Mega Gargants are going to benefit from these, because buffing up those Mega Gargants, they're already decent. They have swingy damage, but when they swing good, it's pretty strong, it's pretty fun, so anything to buff them is nice. Alright, there you go. I'll go ahead and read through all the text on my own. Hopefully you enjoyed this. AOS 3 coming out soon. Please subscribe, like the video. Check out my paintbrushes down below. The Ghost paintbrush, the original all-white, synthetic, cruelty-free hobby paintbrush before somebody basically started selling the same thing. And yeah, much cheaper if you go and check out mine. So save a bunch of money, get some great paintbrushes if you like synthetic paintbrushes for painting your models. Subscribe if you like AOS 3. I'm going to be making videos on that. I'm pretty excited for it. I got Sons of Behemat, I got OCR Bone Reapers, and I'll be picking up possibly a Stormcast army, or I'm really tempted to maybe do some sort of Maw Crusha Gorgrunta army. I don't know. We'll see what happens. And subscribe if you like Adeptus Mechanicus and Warhammer 40k, because I'll be doing videos on that as well. In addition, I do painting videos. I got a Patreon. I got links to Amazon and eBay down below if you want to support the channel by using those links and purchasing something. I get a little kickback. All kinds of fun stuff here at the Redbeard Boss YouTube channel. I appreciate all the support. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one.